It's a hugely satisfying experience to see just how far the limits of human speed can be pushed. And I'm not just talking about running. Oh no, we're talking every mind-blowing feat a person can perform at blistering speeds that are sure to make your head spin. Today I've collected different records and videos of incredibly fast people who have no equals. Think you can keep up with them? Let's get it on! If you've ever been able to solve a Rubik's Cube, then you've probably felt pretty good about yourself. However, your accomplishment might be watered down when you meet Q Jianyu, a 13-year-old Rubik's Cube champion. At such a young age, most people haven't accomplished much, but Jianyu is already a multiple world record title holder. In 2018, he dominated the fastest time to solve 3 Rubik's Cubes at just 1 minute and 36 seconds. Oh, and did I mention he did it with both his hands and feet? As if that weren't enough, this puzzle-solving genius followed it up by solving 3 Rubik's Cubes whilst juggling in 5 minutes and 6 seconds, and even getting the world record for fastest Rubik's Cube solved while hanging upside down, a blistering 15.84 seconds. But he might have had an unfair advantage, you know, with all that extra blood flowing through his brain. Sometimes you just put off getting a haircut for a bit too long. After all, nobody likes being stuck in a chair for well over an hour. But for clients of this Australian barber, time is never an issue. Known around his city as the fastest barber in the world, you'd think his clients would look a little more uneasy about having blades whipped around their heads at breakneck speeds, yet they just sit there bored like they would with any normal barber. However, if you're in a rush but need to look good, let's hope you can even get a seat at this record setter's studio, because chances are, even with his insane speed and precision, there's a long wait to get your hair done by such a master of his craft. If anyone told you that it takes a lifetime to be good at one sport, tell them about Leon Walraven. Originally a football freestyler with a handful of world records already under his belt at a young age, Walraven decided to do a switch-up and try his hand at basketball. The skill sets required for soccer and basketball couldn't be less similar, but that only encouraged Leon further. After some seriously dedicated practice, Leon was able to set the world record for the most dribbles in 1 minute at a mind-boggling 609 bounces. That's more than 10 a second, and no matter how hard this feat looks, I promise you, it's 10 times harder. Dribbling is an art in itself and requires speed, accuracy, and nerves of steel to be any good at. It just goes to show that it's never too late to get good at a new skill. When something's impressive, people typically clap. But while clapping is a pretty universal action we all take, Eli Bishop takes clapping to a level that deserves its own round of applause. Holding the world record as the fastest clapper on the planet, Eli can clap his hands together an incomprehensible 20 times a second. He set the world record for the most claps in a minute in 2014 with a total of 1,100 claps in just 60 seconds. But somehow that exhausting task wasn't enough for Eli, and he recently broke his own record with a blistering 1,103 claps in just 1 minute. You've really got to give this guy a hand. Rhythm-based video games have been a massive hit all over the world since their first appearance, to the point that arcades in the US once had to illegally import the dance machines to keep up with the massive demand. And along with that much hype came some seriously dedicated players who take this fun activity into a seriously impressive contest of fast footwork. How players like this guy manage to even react quickly enough to make the right moves is beyond me. But it's that exact superhuman coordination that so often leads to the massive crowds these kinds of competitive dancers can attract when their feet hit the gamepad. Ever heard the term fastest gun in the West? Well, Jerry McCulloch takes that title to a whole new level. Officially the fastest shooter on the entire planet, McCulloch has been a firearms enthusiast since birth, and through his long and practiced career has hit the bullseye on an unbelievable 20 world records. But I'm not going to rapid fire them all at you at once. After all, I'm not as fast as Jerry, but to give you an idea of his most impressive records,
You want to film this one?
Jerry fired 6 shots from 10 different pistols in a mind-boggling 17.12 seconds. He fired a full clip, reloaded and fired a second full clip in under 3 seconds, shot a grape from 45 feet away within half a second of seeing it, and many, many more seemingly impossible feats of gunslinging speed. Thomas Wu might seem like a regular athletic kid at first glance, but catch him in the gym and you'll be thinking he's some sort of superhuman. That's because Thomas has the absurd ability to punch faster than almost anyone else in the world, making him not just someone you definitely never want to mess with, but also an incredible sight to marvel at. In an attempt to show off his punching prowess to the world, Thomas actually created what's known as the Floating Medicine Ball Challenge. where he manages to keep a whopping 20-pound medicine ball suspended in midair with nothing but his rapid-fire punches. It truly looks like magic. It makes your mind question if what it's seeing is actually real or not. And if he can do that with a 20-pound medicine ball, just imagine what Thomas Wu could do to a person's head. After the events of the Avengers movies, most of us have a bit of an uneasy relationship with snapping, but watching Nicholas Nadasti's fast finger work might just make you have a change of heart. A German teen, Nicholas found out at a young age that he had a talent for snapping of all things, but seeing his hands in action is way more exciting than it might seem at first. Nicholas set the world record for the most snaps in 1 minute in 2018 at an insane 334 snaps, or more than 5 snaps every second. The craziest part is that he did it all with one hand. Try snapping for just a minute straight. It's actually pretty straining. Now just imagine doing that as fast as possible and you'll realize that Nicholas has actually got some very impressive stamina. It must have taken some hardcore practice to snap him into record-setting shape. These days, almost everyone's a keyboard warrior when it comes to discussions on the internet. You better hope that Sean Rona isn't on the receiving end, because his typing skills literally put everyone else's in the world to shame. Sean is a typing champion, able to crank out a world record-setting 163 words per minute. That's more than 4 times faster than the average person. With fingers that fast, Sean could type the longest Harry Potter book in less than a day. Now, if only the writer of the Game of Thrones books could type that quickly. Music is usually supposed to be something soothing to listen to and relax, but apparently nobody told that to Ben Lee. Ben is a violinist who set out to set the world record for being the fastest in the world, and actually managed to take the title with a literally blistering speed of over 13 notes played a second, performing Flight of the Bumblebee in just 1 minute and 4 seconds, in contrast to the normal 3 minutes and 55-second version. Listening to the performance is more like watching a NASCAR race than listening to a piece of classical music, and the sound is so crazy, you've gotta hear it to believe it. How there wasn't smoke rising from his hands in the middle of that, I'll never understand. But I'm sure the world record title was more than worth the severe blisters on his fingers. Cup stacking is a pretty strange phenomenon that seems to have come out of nowhere and taken the world by storm.
Yes! Oh my God!
All around the globe, competitors are seeing if they have the skills to stack up among the best and brightest, but no matter how quickly their hands can move, none of them hold a candle or a cup to Trey Griffith. Watching Trey's hands makes it seem like the video is playing in fast forward, but rest assured, this is real time. Known for being the fastest stacker in Texas and one of the top 5 on the planet, he has an intense passion for the sport and takes stacking to a whole new level, literally. After doing so well in the United States, Trey went to compete in the Stacking World Championships in Taiwan, where he was ranked 4th best in the world and 2nd best in his age range. So of course his current goal is to take that #1 spot by any means necessary. The piano is a classical instrument known for producing beautiful and moving sounds, but when Domingos Antonio Gomez looks at the piano, he sees an opportunity for competition. Setting the record for most piano keys played in a single minute in 2017, Domingos Antonio blew not just the minds of everyone watching, but seemingly also their eardrums. We advise you to turn down the volume, because this melodic record is far from music to my ears. While it might not be a chilling concerto, the record was still set with an insane 824 notes played in a single minute. That's almost 14 notes every second. And with a record that high, Mr. Gomez can likely rest easy, as it doesn't seem that anyone can come close to challenging his title anytime soon. No matter where you come from, it's pretty clear that we can all agree on one thing: samurais are seriously cool. And Isao Machi is a man who took that well-known reality to heart and dedicated himself to become a modern-day samurai, and the fastest one at that. Isao is a lifelong practitioner of the art of the katana, and his practice has made him seem more like a character out of a comic book than the down-to-earth guy he really is. Isao holds too many world records to name here, but among his most impressive are slicing a bullet in midair with a sword, a feat requiring a reaction time of less than a second, and most tatami mats cut in a minute with a remarkable 87 cuts. Tatami is a material with a thickness similar to human bone, so being able to pull off more than 3 cuts every 2 seconds is truly a superhuman accomplishment, as well as one that should definitely convince you never to get on Isao Machi's bad side. Artists are known to be very meticulous and hardworking people, often putting months and even years into a single work before finishing. As the skills needed to be an artist take years to master, it's pretty easy to assume that all art takes tedious amounts of time to be great. But that's where a meeting with innovator D. Winistry might just change the way you see the world. Winistry is a pioneer in the world of speed art, producing masterful paintings in what seem like impossibly short stretches of time. The master painter produces live portraits of people completely upside down, giving credit to the brilliant creative eye he has. But what's even crazier is that he produces these works in less than a minute. Watching him paint is enough to make your head hurt, as the patterns don't become clear until well into the process, but that's part of what makes this rapid artist all the most memorizing.
There we go.
Hey, you still there? Well, since you made it this far, here are all the shoutouts we promised everyone that commented on our previous video. If you want to be shouted out in our next upcoming video as well as the ones prior, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel and leave a comment down below saying, "Pick me." Once you're at it, you might as well leave a like too.